Good morning.
Oh, we're on?
Jeez, we're on. You're live. No
Good
more
morning.
bodily functions.
Whoa, that's a little serious.
We're Mike and Marianne with Remax Empower in Burbank.
I'm Mike.
I'm glad you clarified that. We're your local real estate team, providing you with information and resources throughout Southern California, and if you need it, all of California.
Trying to get some of my glasses don't get that glare on them.
Would you like me to adjust that for you?
Oh, well, that's even better.
Diva Mike. I
There
can't
you go.
help it. Does that work for you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
sort
know,
of.
they don't need to see me anyway. I'm not the pretty one. You are.
Oh, jeez, what a guy. Anyways, so today, what are we talking about today?
I want to talk about that new proposal, new AB 1482. It's a new Tenant Protection Act, I believe, that our lovely governor signed into law last year.
Late last year.
Just a couple weeks ago. It affects all California rental properties, with some exceptions. And we'll put a link here, the Rental Housing Association comments, so that you can go and check it out too as well. So, but
Yeah, it's exciting stuff, right?
it's always exciting when government sticks their nose into our business. But anyway,
So as we all know, there's a housing shortage in our great state of California. There are more people than houses.
because they let too many people in south of the border,
And
build the wall.
oh, brother. And there are high rents in California, and a lot of people are having a hard time making ends meet.
Supply and demand.
Yep. So in an attempt to assist renters with their issue, the governor signed in the bill. It affects all rental housing with a few exceptions. Do you know what those exceptions are?
I do.
Okay, cool.
Would you like me to discuss them?
I think it's important people know that they may
I
be,
like the way you said it. Affects all except.
well, there are a few exclusions.
Right, there are.
What are they?
Well, there are units that can be individual, single-family residence, units that can be individually sold. So you have a condo, that's a single-family resident. It's in a complex that they're
They're sold
it's not
separately.
an apartment complex, so they're sold separately, and those are excluded. Single-family homes on their own lot, as well as condominiums, which is discussed. Housing built within the last 15 years, including accessory dwelling units, ADUs. It's called accessory. I thought it was additional.
No, accessory.
Sure. Okay. And owner-occupied duplexes.
With some caveats.
Right. And a property that's already deemed low-income housing, mobile homes, and certain dormitories. Wow.
Dormitories was kind of weird to me. Because why would you have to worry about dormitories? But I guess
Well,
colleges make you pay for them, so maybe that's why they excluded
Wait a
them.
minute. But some of them have the provisions of the caveats, right?
Right. So
Yeah.
there's
I thought that was an hors d'oeuvre caveat.
it's caviar.
Oh, there you go.
Do you like caviar?
No.
Why? It's delicious.
Okay. Next.
So the main question we get from people is, how much can landlords raise the rent? And the answer to that is 5% plus the applicable consumer index price index. So, or 10%, whichever is lower. But you cannot exceed 10%. 10% is actually kind of a lot.
5%'s a lot. If you keep your rents up to date, you
Right.
should have a problem keeping up with it.
Right.
The old one was 3%. I guess the old one still is in place in LA, but it's 3%. But this isn't bad as long as landlords keep the rents up to where they should be.
Yeah, and that's a big thing that we run into quite frequently is, landlords are trying to keep long-term tenants, and so they feel that they should keep rents as low as they can afford to keep them to make their tenants happy and stay longer. But what that ends up doing in the long run is it kind of screws them, for lack of a better term, when things like this become set into place. So then they're forced to either evict tenants that have been long-term tenants, and then that costs them money as well. And you can read about that in the link that we had provided for you. Or they have to just kind of deal with it and hope that they can raise the rent enough each year so that they can make ends meet for the property.
Yeah, but the real problem is that landlords become too, I don't want to say too friendly, because there's nothing wrong with being friendly. But it's like
Involved.
they become involved, and they get involved in their tenants, not lives necessarily, but what's going on, and they don't keep their rents up, and they got to remember, this is a business. We've got landlords who have given so much since we've taken over management company. We've got landlords who are giving, they're $400 or $500 under market, and they say, yeah, but I feel sorry. It's just, you can feel sorry all you want. You don't know if they're telling you the truth. But number two is, that's your retirement money. You're giving them your money, and if you like to do it, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. But it's a business, and it needs to be treated as a business.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing about going back to this thing with landlords. If they didn't raise their rents by the first of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah. No. Well, they had to raise their rents prior to March 15th
Okay.
of 2019.
Right.
So if you're a landlord and you raised your rent between March 16th or March 15th and today, and January 1st, excuse me,
Yeah. Right.
then you are required to have rolled back your rent to the March 15th, 2019 amount.
If your tenant finds out.
And you hope yeah. So
I shouldn't say
that's
that.
the rule.
Yeah.
It's kind of unfortunate because a lot of people went, okay, this new bill's coming into place. We're going to raise rents to market value so that we can keep the property managed. And we said, no, we can't raise rents more than 5%. But if you're in a area like the city of LA where rent control is 3%, that supersedes the 5%. So you're stuck with 3% increases only. So that's unfortunate.
Well, and improvements. If they do certain improvements, they can disperse.
Correct.
As long as they equally disperse amongst all the units.
But
yeah.
it becomes a problem. So, you want to make sure that if you've raised your rent and it wasn't prior to March 15th, you need to roll it back so you don't get dinged for it by the city that you're in.
Okay.
Or the state.
Okay.
I'm just saying, don't take a chance if you don't have to.
Well, the tenant needs but anyway, that's another story for another day.
Yeah. So the bill is heavy with what landlords can do and what they can't do, what tenants are entitled to and what they're not entitled to. And there are definitions for things that are called just cause evictions. And there are definitions for no fault just cause evictions and how those work. There's a lot of details around them, but basically a just cause eviction is somebody's not paying their rent, they're causing a nuisance, they're creating waste, they're having problems basically abiding by the rules, which was in place previously.
It's still hard to get them out. So unless you live in an area that's how do you say, non-rent control?
Right.
That's how it was in Burbank, but maybe it is rent control now with this new law. But it's still hard to get people out. So.
Correct. So those are just cause, and a no fault just cause ends up costing the landlord, 1 month's rent plus.
I don't know. Is that what it is? 1 month?
1 month's rent. It can be quite a bit. It depends on how long the tenant's been there, and what your lease reads.
But the gist of it is the owners, and you can call us. You need to get your hands on a copy of 1482. You need to read it, understand it, or you need to turn your properties over to a management company like ours that will do that for you and make sure that you're walking the straight line and living by the laws that the land has put forth. So
yeah, you definitely, if you're a property owner that is managing multiple units, do your homework, because tenants have a lot of rights right now with this new act, and you don't want to get caught up in any kind of legal action, and you don't want them to report you to the city.
But owners still have rights too. It's just
they do, but we don't want any disputes for anyone.
Well, no one wants to evict anyone.
So rent control is deemed a horrible thing. When people hear rent control, that word sends a shiver down a property owner's spine. Mm-hmm. But how do you feel about it?
Well, you know how I feel about anything government gets involved with, okay? They should keep their nose out of our business. But by the same token, I can understand some of the things they do, but it doesn't make sense. And in the end, just let the let things handle out by themselves or come together themselves. Everything will be fine. But they keep sticking their nose in us, telling us what we can do and what we can't do, and I just think that's wrong. I'm anti. Government's one job: protect us. Not to tell us how we can rent our properties. We worked hard, and I don't say we because I don't have a lot, but we work hard. Those people out here are landowners. They worked hard for this. It's their investment. Instead of sticking it in a bank, they put it into a property, and they make their money off of it. And then people who live there, we all know how it goes as a landowner. It's just their attitudes usually, it's not my house, and they don't take care of it. So, but no, I just don't always agree with government, what they do, and the restrictions they put on us. So I don't like it.
Wow, that's quite an opinion.
If you want more, I can leave you more.
I don't think rent control is necessarily bad thing, but it needs to be fair for both sides.
Yeah, we just talked about that though. I mean, if it's not bad if the owner keeps his rents where there should be, then he shouldn't have any problem.
Right. Rent control can be okay.
Right. It's okay. You can blame it on the government. Then I have to raise it because the government's. But if you don't, and if you're a nice person and you get behind, and I've had clients where they got so far behind they'll never catch up, and they got to sell their property, and then and then most income properties are based on the income they bring in. So you take the income you bring in. Now it's not bringing in what it's supposed to bring in,
and you got problems.
You're going to get a lot less for your property than.
Right.
If you had your rents up to where they should be. So it's a two-edged sword. It just, Well,
and I think that the other thing that's most frustrating to a lot of property owners is a majority of the voters in California are not property owners. They're renters. So they're making rules.
That goes back to our conversation last week with Prop 13.
Yeah, they're making the rules for those of us who own property.
Right.
And it doesn't necessarily feel fair. I hate that word, fair, not fair, whatever, but it really is kind of how it's going. And, as property owners, we need to make sure that we are up on the laws, up on the rules, and that we're fighting for our rights as property owners. It's very important.
Correct.
Do you agree?
100% with you, Marianne, always.
So that's 1482, a very brief look at it. I've provided the link in our description.
Get
Take
it,
a
look at it, read it. Call
Read
us
it.
if you got questions.
It's really important. If you have questions that we cannot answer
Marianne
for you,
will be glad to answer them. Oh, the ones you can't answer?
the ones I can't answer, we can put you in touch definitely with somebody who can.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining.
Don't forget, we do manage property, so if you have a hard time with this, give us a call. We'll take care of it for you.
I'm Marianne Bean.
And I'm Big Mike.
So thanks for watching Ask Mike. Log in every week at noon. We'll have a different topic. We might be having some contests coming up.
Ooh, what's the topic next week? Don't tell me. I like getting prepared cold like this.
Oh, he's such a baby some days. That's what happens. Anyways, go to our website, MikeMarianneRealEstate.com, where you can check out all of our current real estate happenings, our latest blog posts. Don't forget to like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Mike and Marianne. Yeah, whatever. Like Facebook and Instagram, Mike and Marianne Real Estate. And we love hearing from you. So message us with all of your questions or comments.
It's
And
free.
we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful week, and we'll talk to you soon.
See you next Tuesday.